The Japanese always manage to create content that goes beyond boundaries. A perfidious example is a show where a young comedian was forced to live over a year naked in an apartment by living only on commercial sweepstakes. The show broke all records and it shows us how badly entertainment can go wrong when you throw moral values completely overboard while producing entertainment. Because this show didn't only broke records, it probably also cracked the mental health of its protagonist. So if you want to know the full shocking story and so much more, then stay tuned right now.
Following content is for entertainment purposes only. The Fake Night Show is classed as satire and not factual information. We may address real-life events through satire,
but only to entertain our audience.
Welcome back to the Fake Night Show. It's time for another meme review. So grab a drink and enjoy.
طيب انت شربت من حج علاء.
We all have to admit that the Japanese are some of the world's top providers of entertainment. They have sick mangas, animes, incredible movies, and with their TV shows, the Japanese manage to surprise the whole world again and again. But the show we're going to talk about today proves how dangerous entertainment can become when there are no limits. Running from 1998 to 2002, the horrific show Susume Denpa Shonen was known for the extreme situation each season's participants were placed. The motto of the season we're talking today was a life full of prizes. The protagonist Nasubi was forced to live over a year naked in an apartment by living only on commercial sweepstakes. Everything from his daily struggle was presented live on TV. Even the moments when his mental state clearly went downhill were used perfidiously by the producers. The footage were coupled with silly sound effects, mocking and making fun of him as he wept, screamed, and generally went mad.
こいついいんじゃないの、なかなか相棒が欲しいかなって思ってた時期だし、韓国といえば
相棒の命名に悩むナスビ。この時一つのある言葉が浮かんだ。
やっぱカルビか。
そうなると韓国の相棒の名前は
ビーカルっていう感じにしちゃいましょうか。
新しい相棒ビーカルの誕生がナスビに思わぬ幸運をもたらした。
Now the $1 million question. What could probably go wrong with such an experiment? Well, everything, my dudes.
Here. Yeah. Just drop. Go. Alright, it won't break though.
That's higher.
Good.
As usual for the show, the producers have intentionally chosen a struggling, desperate comedian as the protagonist. What a poor guy.
1, 2, 3, play.
His real name was Tomoaki Hamatsu. The producers named him Nasubi, the Japanese word for eggplant, because due to his nudity, they covered his private parts with an animated eggplant for TV. Nasubi's story begins with producers stripping him of the clothes on his back and any supplies of food, as well as any mode of outside communication. Of course, he wasn't exactly aware of what he was getting himself into, but gag contracts, his struggle as a young, aspiring comedian, evil TV producers, and of course, a gleeful audience made this show possible. Nasubi lived in front of the camera, with the only possessions being those he won from the sweepstakes. The goal that was given to him by the producers of the show were 1 million yen. They told him if he would reach this goal, then he finally could be free again. So you understand, the majority of these 1.5 years, his daily routine consisted of filling out and entering sweepstakes. And if he was lucky, he could win something now and then.
Can I ask you, if you won all the money, what would you do with it?
Bunch of hookers and cocaine.
Oh, okay, that's not good.
Nasubi really had to win everything he needed, even food. While he was starving at first, he then managed to live off of things like a bag of rice or even just a large supply of dog food for extended periods of time. Throughout the whole duration of the show, he never won clothes, aside from some panties which were too small for him. In general, he kept winning things during the show that were pointless to him in the end, which gives the whole show an even crazier touch. Nasubi gets thinner, paler, hairier and weirder as the show goes on, as his near total isolation continued and he never took a step outside. He was isolated for such a long time that even his speech began to slow significantly. Also, after a while, Nasubi engaged in conversations with stuffed animals. First in an attempt to preserve his sanity, like Tom Hanks and Wilson in Castaway, but eventually as a symptom of its deterioration. Nasubi later eventually revealed that he thought of escaping several times and was on edge, especially towards the end. After 335 days, Nasubi reached his goal of winning items with a combined worth of 1 million yen.
100万になったってことですか？え？ちょっと待ってください。すいません。マジっすか？本当ですか？ああ、やった。
電波少年的検証生活ナスビゴール。
Although he was led to believe that he had won a special trip for surviving the year and completing his mission, he was abruptly blindfolded by producers and moved to South Korea, where he would have to win enough earnings in order to get a flight home back to Japan. So basically, everything started from zero. But Nasubi was a pro by now. Against all the odds, he was able to win the complete money in a couple of weeks. Of course, the producers didn't like this. They changed the rules again to detain him for an even longer time. But Nasubi beat the odds again and finally was able to fly back home to Japan. But again, he was taken to yet another secluded apartment. In despair and resignation, in his anger, Nasubi began to take off all of his clothes. But suddenly... Nasubi didn't understand that millions of people were watching his story unfold for the past year and a half, as he was unaware that the show had even aired. But he didn't know that his daily life was being live streamed. So what happened to him after the show? He was nationally famous while his segment was running in television. But after the show was over, his fame faded quickly. Denpa Shonen did not make him a fabulously successful person, but it seems to at least have given him enough exposure to give him a comfortable acting career and a public role in his home region, Fukushima. His diaries on his experience of being locked away from the outside world became a bestseller in Japan. In 2016, Nasubi climbed the Mount Everest as part of efforts to help his hometown recover from the March 2011 nuclear crisis. In the end, Nasubi reports that he is actually grateful for the experience and that the producers apologized to him. The producer, Toshua Chuhia, has no regrets at all. Even though he admits that he apologized, he says that his goal is to produce miracles on film. And with Nasubi, this is what happened, according to him. Of course, as always, we tried to invite the producers to the Fake Net show, but they declined because they are too busy working on a new concept. Now they want to produce a fake late night show about memes and internet culture, which is going to be hosted by an unnamed guy wearing a silly plastic mask. What a stupid concept.
Wow!
Now it's your time again, my dudes. What do you think about this experiment? What do you think about this show? Would you participate in such a show for maybe $1 million? And do you know any kind of similar crazy shows that escalated like the one we talked about today? Let us know your answers in the comment section down below. And as always, the best comments are going to be displayed at the end of the next episode. This is the Fake Night Show, your most reliable source for memes. Thanks for watching.
Ich bin ein Trottel.
Wieso?
So.